Now, I didn't know if I was going to do a review of the Power Rangers annual that covers the Shattered Grid stuff, but since I've been covering mostly Shattered Grid on the channel since the storyline started, I thought, hey, I'd talk about it. Now, I'm not going to talk about the storylines in depth with covering each one, recapping what happened, because I don't want to bore you guys, that's for sure. And I get the feeling I bore you guys a lot when people come to my channel, so I thought I'd talk about the impact that I thought they had and where I didn't think they were going. But it's interesting to say that reading this annual, the Shattered Grid annual arc, it played a few twists in my favor, and I didn't expect most of the stuff to happen. So spoilers if you haven't read the annual yet, or you don't want to get spoiled for the annual, I suggest you leave now. But I've got other videos if you want to watch them. So if you don't want to get spoiled for the annual storylines, I suggest you leave, but they are important for the Shattered Grid storyline, so stick around if you want to. Now, the first one is the Zeo storyline. That's the first one we're going to talk about, and the Zeo storyline, most of this stuff got leaked online to me before I started reviewing it and reading the actual issues. Most of this stuff got online before I could actually talk about it, so the impact of reading it in the book wasn't really there, because I saw the twist online before the book actually arrived in my hands, so that kind of sucks. But what the twist is it's basically set after the big battle with, I'm guessing the final Zeo episode, before things go back to normal, and they throw a party for Jason, and you see him getting the red Morphin back, which kind of makes sense how he turns into the red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger in Forever Red. But the big plot twist was that when they're at the party and Jason and Tommy have this heart-to-heart talk, and Tommy goes back to his apartment, at the end of the issue it turns out that it's Lord Drakon all along, and he kills the Zeo Tommy, and that was spoiled to me, so that kind of sucks that I saw the panel of him slashing the real Tommy's throat, so that kind of sucks. But the one thing is that Drakon has this line saying how he was going to kill the entire team, but he didn't, because he somewhat admires Tommy's leadership. So that's an interesting line. He admires his leadership and how the team all work together, so it makes sense that Lord Drakon's this general and he rules with an iron fist, so he admires Zeo Tommy's leadership, because he probably didn't think that the original Tommy couldn't do it. The Tommy that he could have turned out to be couldn't do it, so he's surprised that this Tommy could lead them so well. So I'm guessing that's why he didn't kill the team, he just wanted to kill their leader. And it is shocking that seeing another Tommy die in this issue, which made me think, why aren't they doing Dino Thunder, where he went to the Dino Thunder storyline and killed that Tommy? So I'm guessing he didn't think to go that timeline, or didn't know entirely there was a Tommy in that timeline, because he could have killed that Tommy before the story started, or roughly around when that Tommy was in a comatose. But he didn't go with that. The writers didn't decide to do that, so that's somewhat interesting that they didn't go down that path. But anyways, seeing that Tommy getting killed, kind of shocking, but like I said, I saw it spoiled before me earlier, so I guess it is what it is. Now, in these other stories, I was expecting Lord Drakon to run circles around the other Ranger teams, but that's not the case, unfortunately, because, surprisingly, they're able to hold him back a few chapters here and there, which shows that his mistakes as a leader and his generals, and he's just rushing into things without a plan, so he's underestimating these other Ranger team, because the SPD team and the RPM team and the Ninja Steel team are able to hold him back, which is really surprisingly that they do that, because they don't defeat him, they just make him retreat. And I didn't think they would be able to do that. I didn't think they'd be able to do that, especially SBT team, because they're the Space Patrol C team. They're not the best team for all we learn, but they do have Doggy Kruger on their team, so it's in that timeline where he's a Ranger. Now, the fact that they're able to push him back is something that's really surprising for me, because like I said, it was unexpected and I didn't think they'd have the guts to do it, or the teamwork to do it, but it just shows that Lord Drakon's making a few mistakes in his plans. Now, whether he makes those mistakes in the future issues of the main storyline in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Boom comics, we'll have to wait and see. But the fact that he just gets knocked back a few times is kind of shocking. Now, we don't know what his plans in the RPM storyline is. He tries to confront Dr. K to form an alliance, but you find out that it's an android, so who knows if he made the alliance with the main villain in RPM. I haven't seen RPM in a long time. I can barely remember it. I just remember bits of it from Linkara's History of Power Rangers, so let's see what I remember here and there. But I'm guessing that he formed an alliance with the nano machines and the androids so he can add them to his sentries, so he can form a army of robots that he can power up with his Morphin grid that he gives them, because you see the samurai sentries that he got in the previous issue in this annual, so it kind of plays in between issue 26 and 27, these annual stories. So I'm saying at the start, like I said, I think you should read this if you want to. But anyways, the fact that teams like SPD, frickin' RPM, and Ninja Steel are able to hold them back. Ninja Steel, surprisingly, because they're the new team and I thought they'd get brushed around really easy, but they're able to defeat them and hold them back. But the thing with Ninja Steel, it does have this impact at the end of the story where Lord Dracon gets a piece of the Ninja Star and he tells Vince DeFive to melt it down and he's got a plan for it. Now, I don't know what that plan is. He could be using it to make more sentry drones or a powerful weapon. Who knows what he's going to do? We'll have to find out once the main issues are out and the story's back on track. Which I'm guessing it's going to be a weapon of some sorts, because we don't know what really kind of weapon Lord Dracon has apart from his saber, and he can't really use his broken or saber, whatever you want to call it. He can't really use that forever, that's for sure, because he needs a more powerful weapon, and they have a weapon that's 20, 30 years into the main storyline future. He can use that to their advantage. Now, I know I just said having a weapon 30 years into the future is different than having a weapon that's 100 years into the SPD storyline future, but he has a plan for this Ninja Star that he can actually use it and actually use it in battle. Now, whether he's going to make use of Morphin or Sentry as a weapon, like I said earlier, we'll have to wait and see. But the fact that Lord Dracon lost in most of these storylines is kind of shocking. Now, he did somewhat get a victory in the in the In-Space storyline, but oof, that was brutal seeing Alpha 5 getting killed like that. But it was interesting how he messed with Andros, and how Andros is not going to say a terrible leader, but he struggles to be a leader and understand human emotions here and there. But anyways, the annual is worth reading, I'll say that much. I mean, you guys have to check this out, because if you're reading the Shadow Grid storyline just through the main comic issues, and you're not reading the Go-Go Power Ranger stuff, that's understandable, but this annual is important to the main issue. And I know they're doing a crossover event, so you have to read all three, but this annual is something that you really have to read and you have to check out, because it plays a big part in the storyline. Now, you might be confused what's going on, because next issue we're crossing over into the RPM world, I'm guessing, because they're on the cover. They've got an issue of like Dr. K kicking off something with Jason and Lauren fighting off these androids and sentries, so I'm guessing that's what they were covering next. So I'm saying that you should check out this annual because it's important to read and get into the main storyline. So I'm suggesting you guys check it out and see what it's all about, because you might enjoy it, you might not enjoy it, but these stories are really fun. The art is really cool because they have different artists for each story, and I do enjoy these different artists, and they were really cool. I really like their designs and different takes on what they do on the character. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I want to say that you guys should check out this annual and read it. It's worth the read, that's for sure. But anyways, that's going to wrap up my review of Power Rangers 2018 annual. If you enjoyed this review or recap or discussion, whatever you want to call it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're very new, because your support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day and peace out. Bye.